Happy Wednesday. It is Wellness Wednesday, and this topic has been on my mind far longer than what happened to us back in March. We've had this concern with an opioid crisis, and I should have taught sooner, but it is one of the top 3 reasons why people seek me out as a health coach and as a master herbalist. I specialize in gut health, which addresses emotions and weight loss, and next comes pain and discomfort in the body. What bothers me most is I don't like to see people hurting, and they don't know that they don't have to suffer like that. They don't have to suffer like that. So if you know someone suffering with pain, especially for a long time, this might be a great live for you to share with them. Let me get started on this opioid crisis. America has been in and is still in the middle of a health crisis due to the misuse of opioids, a class of pain-relieving medications that include morphine, heroin, codeine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, fentanyl, and there's so many others, believe it or not. In 2018, just a couple years ago, alone about 47,000 people died from opioid overdose, with about 1/3 of these deaths coming from prescription drugs. Between 20 to 30% of people who are prescribed opioids for chronic pain misuse them, and about 8 to 12% develop an opioid use disorder. An estimated 4 to 5% of the people who misuse their medication end up switching to illegal opioids like heroin because of their addiction. In fact, about 80% of the people who take heroin first misuse prescription opioids, so many of the deaths from illegal opioids trace back to the use of prescription opioids. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, estimates that the total economic burden of prescription opioid misuse is $78.5 billion a year, just right here in the United States alone. Opioids are not new. They have been around for a long time. The first opiate was morphine, an alkaloid derived from the opium poppy in the early 1800s. Opium had been in use as a pain medication and as a hallucinogenic drug for almost 5,000 years before the isolation of morphine. Even though these drugs have been around for a while, it wasn't until the 1970s that we understood how they worked. A researcher named Candace Perk, working with the neuroscientist Solomon H. Snyder, discovered that certain brain cells had receptor sites for opiates, or rather, that opioids bind to receptor sites for neurotransmitters such as endorphins. That's what you want to remember, endorphins. These neurotransmitters are designed to help reduce pain and aid sleep. So by attaching to these receptor sites, opiates block pain and make people drowsy. Endorphins are also released when exercising, getting a massage, meditating, or eating certain foods, including dark chocolate. They produce a feeling of well-being, providing a reward for doing good things for the body. Opiates artificially induce the sense of well-being without engaging in any healthy behaviors that promote well-being. Addiction occurs because the body downregulates any neurotransmitter system that is being artificially stimulated. When taking a drug, the body adapts to its presence, which means it is difficult to get the natural sense of well-being from normal, healthy behaviors after using it. Thus, addiction to opiates is not a character flaw, but one of the potentially serious side effects of using them. So why are we still using these drugs that are proven to be so highly addictive? These drugs, ordinary people who would never use recreational drugs become addicted, and they can die from overdosing from these opioids. The side effects besides death are sleepiness, slowing down the intestines. It affects the respiratory system. Actually, that's in an overdose. How the person usually passes is from respiratory distress. Dizziness, nausea, vomiting, euphoria, headaches, mental fog, constipation, depression. If you don't have to use these painkillers, I wouldn't. And risk of heart attack. They can be a good thing. So I guess the question of why use them is they could be a good situation. If I were a soldier and I was wounded, I would enjoy some morphine in the field to get me to where I need to go to have medicine performed. So they do have their place. I believe in medicine and I believe in surgery. Both can be life-saving, but we need to use them carefully. You know, let's see. It's just too great of a risk. In my opinion, it is too great of a risk to use them for chronic pain for a long period of time. So what do we do instead, right? Well, you heard what releases endorphins. I gave you the list if you need to scroll back and take a peek again. But pain is not the problem. Pain is the messenger. So holistic practice will teach you that pain is present, so you become aware that there is something wrong with your body. It needs rest, or it needs attention. It needs to be protected. It needs the steps you need to be able to take to heal. And wherever there is pain, there is that inflammation. And so inflammation reducing herbs might be a great answer to what is going on with the tissue that needs to heal in the body. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Erica. If you know someone who suffers from pain, tag them in this video. It is so important for people to understand that pain is not the problem, pain is the messenger. As tissues heal, the pain subsides. So if someone is suffering from chronic pain, it just means that the damage has never fully healed. So we need to take a good look at that, and I'll use anti-inflammatory herbs. I will use CBD, which addresses the endocannabinoid system. It is not addictive. I can teach you all about that. Omega-3s are very important when it comes to combating inflammation and reducing the pain in the body. Not to mention, wherever there's pain, there is poison being dumped in. So I will help support the kidneys when someone is in chronic pain. I will reduce poisons around them, whether it be in their food or in their environment or in their personal care products. I have a gentleman that has been, he has worked hard and he's been pain-free for 14 months. And we're gonna name Diet Mountain Dew as the culprit there. And recently he said to me, you know, when can I have that Diet Mountain Dew back? And I said, well, when would you like the pain back? Don't dump those poisons in. Let's see here. Yes, so the body's too acidic. So that's what's going on with chronic pain, is the body has become too acidic, and we want it to be a little bit alkaline to be able to reduce the pain and the inflammation. So we'll work with minerals. There's usually a mineral imbalance. We'll work with the kidneys, and we need some antioxidants also added into that person's supplemental program to help them out. Topical massage is great for endorphins, and there's some topical lotions that we'll use that are proven to reverse inflammation, reduce swelling and pain, and bring blood flow to that area. And I have lotions both with and without CBD if that is a concern for you, so that it does or does not have the THC in it. There are some great THC-free options that we can pursue. And again, let's recap those. How to increase endorphins naturally: meditation, laughter, acupuncture, and back to that good old dark chocolate. So if you have questions on pain, where it hurts, how long it's hurt, we need to look at the diet, we need to look at some inflammation reducing herbs. If we need to become aware that there still is an opioid crisis in this country, and these drugs are being misused, and people are losing their dear ones to that addiction. And I'm telling you, it does lead to death, and that death is through the respiratory system. And I don't know about you, but that's not the way that I would prefer to breathe my last breath, is in pain and discomfort from something that I'm taking to get rid of pain and discomfort. Just does not make sense to me. So reach out if you need my help, and you all have a wonderful Wednesday. Have a good night.